Hi, my name is Lyric, and today we're making to They Said They Were the Greatest Team of All Time by Jxmyhighroller, legendary NBA YouTuber. So, yeah, so this is the second straight video I'm going to be doing kind of about the Team 2024 Team USA, the Lavengers, or Dream Team 2.0 or whatever, or 3.0. And I think this, from the title of this video, it seems like it's going to be comparing the 92 Dream Team to the modern day Team USA. And yeah, just looking at it, so yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting video, see Jxmyhighroll's perspective on it. We did Johnny Arnett's perspective on it, talking about more of the critiques against the Dream Team in a while. On how he didn't agree with a lot of those before. So yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting for Jxmyhighroller here. Before we get into the video, I do want to preface something. That is that this week is the last week where NBA videos will be uploaded on this channel. All NBA reaction videos will now be, after this week, go to the Lyric Reacts NBA channel, link in the description below. And of course I have an original NBA content channel on Lyric Rumbles NBA, also link in the description below if you want to see original NBA content. So yeah, obviously go make sure to watch the original video first, have it on the background, or at least have it on the background so you get the view. Subscribe to the Jxmyhighroller, and let's get it. And Embiid's been the most disappointing player for Team USA.
See that score? USA versus Germany. Germany is up 82-81 with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The game should have never been this close, but it is. In fact, it's been a close contest since the opening tip. Both teams going bucket for bucket, neither of them really able to pull away. Someone is going to have to step up and take
LeBron.
this game.
LeBron's been Captain America, man. He really has been.
Of all the talent, the great
39 years old. I think Embiid, I would still say Embiid in the NBA is still the best player on Team USA this year. But in the Olympics, man, LeBron has been the leader. He has been Captain America, leading Team USA, hitting all types of game winners. You know, just putting up consistent stats and everything, man. He's just been great.
It is shooter of all time, a former MVP, the future of USA basketball. It is none other than all reliable.
Oh, all reliable, man. Greatest storyline in NBA history. Oh my god, yeah. 39 years old going in for the hustle play. He can big body a lot more in the Olympics with the less calls. Look at this, him flying around everywhere. 39. About to be 40. The flex.
With the game on the line and 4 minutes left in the fourth, LeBron turned back the clock and completely put Team USA on his back, scoring their final 11 points.
Bro hit rewind.
Handedly outscoring Germany. The Young Bucks are loving it. These performances should have came to an end years ago. Here we are.
LeBron's 30. This fucker won't last any longer. Well.
Still got it. But wait a minute. This is the best basketball team on the planet. Some have even called this roster the best team of all time. But if that's the case, then why out of all of these players does it take a 39-year-old LeBron going ballistic in the final minutes to win a game by single digits? Their previous game against South Sudan was
a good point.
Similar story, with the go-ahead basket by LeBron being the only thing.
The rest of the world has gotten a lot better, but yeah, they should be winning. Well, okay, to be fair, I think this was done before, this video came out before the actual, games that count has started. It was just with the exhibition games. In the actual games that have counted in the Olympics, they've been blowing every team out. There hasn't been a close game. In the exhibition, it was just close games. But so far, as I'm recording this, there hasn't been a close game in the actual Olympics.
They were immediately hailed as one of, if not the greatest team ever assembled. However, through 5 exhibition games, 3 of which were won by 6 points or less, the title of greatest team ever seems to have been given out a bit prematurely. Is this team truly the best team we've ever seen?
I think there's an argument.
They have all the credentials to
really think there's an argument.
But on the court, they aren't nearly as dominant as some teams from the past.
Well, the whole world's gotten a lot better. The competition's got a lot better. That's why.
Today I've teamed up with DraftKings.
Shut up. Oh wait, actually, well, I'm just by instinct skipping the sponsor, but we'll let the sponsor play through because I'm using their video.
One-stop shop for all things fantasy sports to bring you the largest best ball tournament in DraftKings history. Best ball is easy to play. Draft your team in a snake-style draft. There's no roster management, no waiver wire. Just sit back and watch your team collect points throughout the season while DraftKings handles the rest. Your goal is to construct a team that earns the most fantasy points throughout the season. And right now, you can enter into DraftKings Best Ball Tournament for a shot at a share of $15 million in guaranteed prizes. And
Seems
this
pretty good.
year, 2 millionaires will be crowned. You will also receive a bonus ticket with
Pretty
your
cool.
first entry into the NFL Best Ball Tournament. That's 2 entries for the price of 1. Download the DraftKings app and sign up using promo code Jxmyhighroller. Enter into the DraftKings Best Ball Tournament, receive a bonus ticket with your first $20 entry, and earn your shot at a share of $15 million in guaranteed prizes. Only on DraftKings. Last summer, after a 4th place finish in the FIBA Basketball World Cup, reports surfaced that LeBron James was
Yeah, because the World Cup last year was so bad last year. So that's what prompted all these guys to be like, okay, we got to step up and bring back, the Dream Team B3.
recruiting players from around the league to suit up for the U.S. men's national team for the 2024 Olympics, reaching out to teammates, friends, foes, all to
It's a repeated cycle with Team USA. They bring up the best team they can. They're absolutely dominant, and they continue to get less and less NBA players in the team, and continue to get less and less dominant until eventually they have an embarrassing loss, and they build up the best team of all time again. It always happens, dude. That's what happened in the early 90s when they lost to the Soviet Union. When they were just putting out the college players and they built the Dream Team. Then they slowly were putting less and less NBA players in the Olympics every year until they eventually got like bronze in the '04 Olympics. Then they brought back, but with this amazing team together, the Redeemed Team in 2008, and then they slowly, kept getting less and less players until eventually, in the World Cup, had this embarrassing loss, and now we're back again to the Dream Team B3. It's just a repeated cycle, man. I wish we would just put our best players out every year.
better their odds of defeating a common enemy, everyone else. And although fun to imagine, the team he was attempting to put together seemed like a classic case of too good to be true. Except it actually happened. A 12-man roster that
Not Kawhi,
saying
which
is the
sucks
greatest
ass.
basketball team
Fucking quitter.
of all time. LeBron, Durant, Curry, Embiid, Tatum, AD, Booker, Kawhi, who has since been replaced by Derek White, Edwards, Halliburton,
Derek White's amazing, man.
and Bam.
3 Celtics, and none of them are Jaylen Brown.
The history of basketball. And yet, 5 exhibition games into this year's Summer Olympics, and this team has just barely escaped with a win on multiple occasions. Nowhere near some of the colossal blowouts we have seen Team USA put down in the past.
Goddamn.
Which begs the question.
The world's
Is
gotten
this
better.
actually the greatest team of all time?
I think there's an argument.
1992 Dream Team, a group of players that
There's an
won
argument.
by a record-shattering margin and took basketball to a global scale. Are they greater than the Redeem Team, or even the U.S. Olympic team in 2012, led by Kobe and a prime LeBron and Durant? Well, it all depends on how you want to define greatness. Are we talking about a team with the best collection of talent, or is greatness defined by how good they are as a collective unit? And since the 2024
unit,
US
unit,
men's
100%.
Olympic team has yet to play a single non-exhibition game together, I assume we are referring to option number 1. In terms of major career
I guess, yeah,
accomplishments,
before we see the
such
gold
as
medal, we're
MVPs,
talking about that then, yeah.
championships, All-NBA teams, the key milestones that we use to measure how great individual players are. Here is how the 2024 U.S. men's Olympic roster stacks up.
So they have the most championships, actually, of any of these other Olympic teams. 96 Team USA is not talked about nearly enough. They had the most insane center rotation of all time with Hakeem, Shaq, and David Robinson all on the same team. Yeah, you're just not getting anything in the paint there. You're not scoring in the paint with those 3 guys. But yeah, they have the most championships, more than the Dream Team. Same amount of Finals MVPs as the Dream Team. The Dream Team has 1 more MVP. The 96 Dream Team has most DPOIs, yeah, with that center rotation. All NBA is the 96 team, and All Defense is also the 96 team. So the 96 team is actually really underrated here. It's just because they don't have Michael Jordan or like a one guy that's like super like GOAT level player that they're not talked about. But in terms of like the actual players on the roster, dude, I mean like they're underrated in terms of argument for the greatest team of all time.
Up against some of the greatest teams of the past. Now, it's important to note that I only took into consideration the accolades these players earned leading up to the time of the Olympics. So, for example, although Michael
That
Jordan
makes
won
sense.
6 titles and 5 MVPs by the end of his career, I only included the 2 titles and 3 MVPs he won heading into the '92 Olympics.
Makes
This is only
sense.
fair since players on the 2024 roster have yet to finish their careers and still have time to pile up more accolades. So this
Right.
is a snapshot of how accomplished these teams were at the time of their formation. And when ranked against the most accomplished teams, you could make an argument that this
Yeah.
2024 team is the greatest.
And look, that 96 USA team has more than the Dream Team. That's crazy. Yeah, the 96 team really underrated. Yeah, I'm gonna watch a video on them. What's the exact roster? 'Cause I know they have that insane center rotation. I see Karl Malone there. See Reggie Miller. I think that's Scottie Pippen. That's John Stockton. Yeah, there's Charles Barkley, obviously. Huh.
All time,
Yeah, insane
just
roster.
slightly edging out the U.S. men's team in 1992.
Why did Jordan not play in the 96 Olympics?
Oddly enough, the 96 U.S. men's Olympic team was more accomplished at the time of their formation than the 92 Dream Team was. But overall, this year's team is arguably the greatest team in terms of their basketball resumes. But that might be due to the fact that this year's U.S. Olympic team is old. By the '92 Olympics, Larry Bird had already played his last NBA season. His back was completely toast, and he was the oldest player on the team by a considerable margin. He was 35, which means right now, Stephen Curry is older than Bird was during the '92 Olympics.
That's crazy. Well, Bird, it wasn't because he was old. It's because he got a lot of injuries. That's why. But yeah, this team is pretty old when you think about it, because their big three of LeBron, Durant, and Curry are all 35 and older, I think. Yeah, because I think Durant's like 36, and obviously LeBron 39, by far the oldest. Yeah, some young guys here, but David Robinson was 3 years into his career, but he didn't start until he was like 25. So he was actually like 28, which is pretty crazy. Jordan was in the middle of his prime. I think that's the main argument. If you were going to argue for the Dream Team, is that Jordan, they had a prime Michael Jordan. And the modern Team USA, they have LeBron, but he's not prime LeBron. So they don't really have that superstar GOAT level player in his prime, like this Team USA, like the Dream Team does. And if you're going to argue for the modern team, I would argue they have a lot more versatility with each player, and they have a lot better shooting. That's what I would argue. And they have, I would say, more depth at the end of the bench than the Dream Team does.
In fact, Devin Booker has already been in the league longer than most of the players on that 1992 Dream Team. So although this 2024 team has the advantage of experience and longevity,
Well, you gotta also mention, a lot of players at this time went to college a lot longer than players do nowadays. So I think it'd be a lot better if you put age here instead of seasons played.
the team in '92 got many of their players during the peak of their careers. So what if instead of accolades and accomplishments, we looked at how good these players were individually at the time of the team's formation? Here
Yeah,
is
that's a lot
chart
better,
of the
I would say, of a way of
2024
looking at
US
it.
men's Olympic basketball roster and their production and efficiency from this past season, with box plus minus
Yeah.
on the y-axis.
Goddamn, look at fucking Embiid. Yeah, Embiid was just fucking insane this year. If he just didn't play enough games, but when he was playing, he was going fucking nuts until the playoffs came.
And win
Same with every year. Just
Here's the
sucks.
48 on the x-axis.
Really.
Here, Tyrese Halliburton has been considered one of the weaker links on this roster, but he was
Has
actually
he?
one of the better players on this team throughout the regular season.
I don't know about all that now. I don't know who's been saying that. He's been great at assisting, great at shooting. I don't know who the hell's been saying that.
Really old and still really good.
Yeah,
And Joel Embiid's
of
spot
course.
is a quick reminder that if it weren't for a season-ending injury this past year, the man might be a back-to-back MVP right now. And now
Right.
for some context, here is the
He does get a bit
2020
overhated
Olympic team and their
by some
advanced
people.
numbers in the
Still
season
trash in the
leading up to
playoffs.
the Olympics. LeBron was the best player on this team.
2012 Olympics, yeah. That's crazy that Embiid's on the same level as 2012 LeBron in terms of the advanced stats. Yeah, that's just crazy. Chris Paul, goddamn. Yeah, showing him some love.
Followed by Chris Paul and Kevin Durant. They also had a veteran Kobe Bryant and Olympic Melo. And statistically, you can make an argument that the individual players on this team were better than the players on the 2024 team.
Yeah, that's like higher average BP, higher in both stats actually. Yeah, 2012 team does not get talked about nearly enough either, which is surprising considering it's so recent.
2008 Redeem Team was relatively young and inexperienced in the international realm, with LeBron James leading the way coming off of his 5th season in the league. A young Chris Paul.
Dang, LeBron and Chris Paul, man. The big two for both of them. It's crazy that Kobe's all the way down here with the advanced stats, and LeBron and CP3 up there for both times. That's so crazy.
Paul entering his prime and MVP Kobe Bryant. But overall, this
Chris Paul
team
underrated,
probably
maybe.
wasn't as good as the U.S. roster this year. 1996, however, is one of the more underrated teams ever assembled, with a ton of 90s greats like Pippen, Gary Payton, Reggie Miller, and of course, the greatest front court lineup the world has ever seen. Featuring David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, and Karl Malone. This team was experienced.
You're just not scoring a single basket in the paint, and you're also not defending a single basket in the paint with that lineup. That's just just fucking absolutely insane.
They were all still in their prime, and as a whole, they were better than this year's team. Which leads us to the 1992 Dream Team, who are still on a completely different level from any other team.
Oh shit, here we go.
Before and since their inception. Because here's Michael Jordan, here's David Robinson, Magic Johnson.
Damn, Michael Jordan still hasn't Joel Embiid. What the fuck?
Drexler, Stockton.
Yeah, they're all in this. Every single player's in this fucking upper echelon. That there's only one player from the modern USA team on.
And the rest of the team. And now we have a better picture of just how
Holy fuck, yeah, look at those advanced the advanced stats are not even like fucking close. That's crazy. Wow.
good this 92 Dream Team was. The 1992 U.S. Men's Olympic team was so good that Anthony Edwards in 2024 was statistically
the worst player than every single one.
player on the 92 Dream Team outside of Christian
And he's one of the better players. He's one of the better players on the modern USA team. Though obviously there is nuance to this. Of course, stats aren't everything. So you can, I mean, I would definitely argue that Anthony Edwards is better than fucking Chris Mullin. But I still think there is an argument for the 2024 team being better. But in terms of like the stats, yeah, the Dream Team just absolutely dominates.
who hadn't even played a single minute in the NBA up to that point. Now, you may be thinking that these stats of the players in 1992 might just be inflated, or possibly a miscalculation. How is there so many all-time great players at their peak in the NBA in 92? And where are all of these players today? Well, they're playing for other countries.
That's true, yeah. If you had a Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Giannis to this graph, it would look a lot different.
Here's Nikola Jokic.
Oh, there he is, yeah. Holy God, yeah. Way above everyone.
And here's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So in terms of individual
yeah, so it's because in 92, all the most dominant players in the NBA were all on USA, but now they're more dispersed across other countries, so while the top talent in the NBA may be on the same level or maybe even better, the actual USA team itself is more diluted because not every one of the best players in the world is on the same team. You can argue these are three best players in the world right here. Jokic, you can argue the four best players in the world are all not on the USA team. Jokic, Luka, SGA, and Giannis. I would probably say those are actually the four best players in the world, in my opinion. So that's pretty crazy, but they're all not in USA.
dominance. The 92 Dream Team would be like having this 2024 roster without some of their relatively weaker links, and the addition of Luka, Jokic, Giannis, and SGA. That
Yeah.
is how good the Dream Team was.
Yeah, putting in perspective here, I'm definitely leaning towards the Dream Team with this graphics here.
U.S. Men's Olympic team was. There was, of course, exceptions to this. Among the elite foreign players of the early
Dude, you were literally not barking in the last few minutes, and as soon as I start recording, he starts barking again. This guy's trolling.
The NBA, and by default the entire world, revolved around players from the U.S. There was, of course, exceptions.
Yeah, it's
to
not
this.
really an
Among the
American
elite
sport,
foreign players
exclusively,
of the
not even close
90s
anymore.
were Nigerian-born Hakeem Olajuwon,
Who still played for
who
USA.
Team USA.
Yeah,
Patrick
like
Ewing
Joel
from
Embiid.
Jamaica, who also ended up playing for Team USA. Detlef
Yeah.
Schrempf from Germany, and Croatian legend Dražan Petrovic. But
Not even close to the faces of the
NBA
lead
had
for the
yet
league.
to really pursue basketball on a global scale. The two international teams that were
The 92 Dream Team is a big reason why the international stars came out, because it popularized basketball really throughout the entire world.
eventually added to the league would
Inspired so many
never be
international
until
players.
1995. 95% of all NBA prospects were American-born or attending U.S. universities. But as Steve Kerr said after Team USA's loss in last year's FIBA World Cup, this isn't 1992 anymore. Over the last 32 years, the number of foreign-born NBA players has skyrocketed. From 21 foreign-born players, just 5% of all active players in the league in 1992, to 125
Nearly a quarter of the
foreign players
league.
throughout the league in 2024, representing nearly a quarter of all active players.
But they're not
Today,
world
when
champions,
players
right?
play International competition, more often than not, they're just playing their NBA teammates in these tournaments. It's a bunch of
Yeah.
NBA guys versus a bunch of NBA guys. The 92
Right.
Dream Team was and still is the greatest team ever assembled because they were a collection of the best basketball players, not just in the US, but
in the world.
entire world.
And that's the only time it's ever going to happen
Outside of
now,
Hakeem,
if
who
you really
was
think about it.
arguably not as good as Ewing or Robinson in 1992, and Isaiah Thomas, who was unjustly snubbed from this team, they couldn't have gotten any better. Now, in the case of this 2020,
Right, we all know why Isaiah was snubbed from the team. Obviously, didn't have a good relation with Jordan or Magic. Hakeem, I'm guessing just because he hadn't decided, you know, if he was going to play for, like, Nigeria. Did he play for Nigeria that year? I don't know. If he eventually goes on to play for Team USA, he could have definitely made it over Ewing, 100%. And that would have just been insane. Dude, Jordan, Magic, Bird, Robinson, Malone, and Hakeem with Stockton and Pippen. Dude, oh my god, dude. That would have made, it would not have been a debate if Hakeem made the roster. Would not have been a debate.
team, they're great, but they aren't nearly the best possible iteration of what the greatest collection of talent in the entire world would look like today. So not only was the Dream Team the greatest,
they don't have the 4 best players in the world.
In the history of basketball, nearly all of the players on the Dream Team were at the peak of their powers, but they were also eviscerating teams. More legendary than this 92 roster and the dominance of their individual players, the Dream Team was crushing their opponents.
Well,
in game 1,
okay, we can't give credit for them having the best players in the world because the world wasn't as good, but then also celebrate them for beating other teams because other teams weren't as good. A part of the reason why they were eviscerating other teams because the other teams didn't have any NBA players on their rosters, or they had maybe one at most, you know, and so they would just destroy them. Nowadays, pretty much every team you go against in the Olympics has at least one NBA player, if not like a lot of NBA players. Canada nearly has an entire 12-man roster of NBA players now.
One of group play, the Dream Team scored 116 points while holding their opponent to just 48.
That's insane, though. That's just insane.
A really good Lithuania team by 51 points. If you want to know just how outmatched these countries were, look no further than the guy who just threw in the towel and just started
taking
snapping
pictures
of the Dream Team while the game was still going on.
You gotta admire it, man. I gotta respect it, honestly.
Croatia team featuring 6 NBA players. The Dream Team won by 33 points.
That's impressive, though. 6 NBA players.
Gold medal game.
That one's pretty impressive.
Entire country on the line. Barkley hits Leitner for a 3 and calls it good before he even puts up the shot.
To do that without getting it to a guy not even played in the NBA yet,
In fact,
that's impressive.
This team wasn't even fair. During the 92 Olympics, the Dream Team had an average margin of victory of nearly 44 points.
No, that's ridiculous. Average margin of victory of 44 is so crazy. That's so crazy.
Team USA put up in the 2016 and 2020 Olympics. Their average margin of victory this summer has been just 10 points. Granted, they are still making tweaks to their lineups and experimenting with different game plans, so this number will...
Right, we haven't reached the Olympics yet by the time this video came out.
But through 5 exhibition games, they aren't winning in nearly the same blowout fashion we saw in the past.
Yeah, that's never going to be seen again. Average of 44 points. That's so nuts.
The USA men's team in 96, 2008, and even 2012 will more than likely never happen again. In 1992, excluding the U.S. team, the 11 teams that played in the Olympic basketball tournament featured 18 players.
That's crazy how Croatia was so dominant in terms of international basketball other than the U.S. I mean, Kukoc, Petrovic, Dino Radja. Arvydas Sabonis on Lithuania is a very strong player. No one else I've heard of. Detlef Schrempf, obviously. Luke Longley on Australia.
At one point in their career. In this year's Summer Olympics, the 11 countries...
Yeah, look at all these NBA players. That's insane.
Feature 68 active or former NBA
That's
players.
nuts.
Now, this is an oversimplified way of looking at the caliber of these teams. Because
Canada
as
only
we've
has a whole
seen,
12-man
having
roster
the
of
most NBA
NBA
talent on
players.
the roster does not guarantee success, but it does show just how much the world has caught up with the U.S. in basketball. The once massive chasm that separated USA basketball from the rest of the world has been shrinking for over the last decade or so, and is now at a point where many countries...
One of these days, the U.S. is gonna get cocky and throw in one of these super teams into the Olympics and not even win. The day's gonna come. You know, I don't think it's gonna be for a little bit, but like, it might happen, man. And then that'll be a day, man. That'll be a day.
Truly contend for a gold medal. As it stands, this 2024 U.S. men's roster may be the greatest team ever assembled in terms of their accomplishments and their legacies and resumes. But when it comes to the sheer dominance they have on the court together and how good each individual player was at the time of the team's formation, the Dream Team is still the best team in the
Yeah, I would
history
still
of
probably say the
basketball.
Dream Team.
And with the
Yeah,
leaps
I would
and
still agree.
bounds foreign players continue to make, I don't think we will ever see one single team reach this level of dominance ever again. A team that still remains the gold standard.
All right, man. So that was, they said they were the greatest team of all time by Jxmyhighroller. Fantastic video, really good analysis of all the other Olympic teams. Like that he brought up other Olympics teams other than just the Avengers and the Dream Team. But yeah, so I do personally would say the Dream Team is the greatest team of all time, and I know most of you would agree with that. But I do think there is some arguments to be made about the 2024 team. But yeah, so argue with each other in the comments. So yeah, remember this is the last week of NBA reactions on this channel. So if you want to watch any more NBA reactions from me, go subscribe to the Lyric Reacts NBA channel. Link in the description below. Lyric Rumbles NBA for original content. Go subscribe to Jxmyhighroller, and that'll be about it. Bye.